Hey, Container Nuts, I'm Jason.
And I'm Jesse.
I'm Gavin.
That's Gavin.
Sorry.
Okay. So, Jesse, what are we here for?
Well, today we are going to touch base on our Easy Wheels.
Okay. Welcome to Container Talk. This is something we're going to be doing a lot more of, but Easy Wheels here. This is our flagship product. We have been selling these for quite a few years. We are the original Easy Wheels. We're the ones that came up with them. They actually evolved out of Australia, were brought to the United States, and I don't know, these things are awesome. For many years, this was our top seller. So, and we sell the heck out of them, but we wanted to answer a lot of questions we get and inform people about them. So, I guess I'm going to go ahead and start.
Okay.
So right off the bat, the number one question we get, or not really a question, the number one issue we get, because we deal with people all over the world. A lot of these people have shipping container lots, and they sell shipping containers off their lot. That's how we came out of it, from Top Gun Storage Solutions. So these things will save you money. So how many sales do you lose because you can't get your shipping container down some goat path or something? You Google Earth it, you can't get that container down that road, so you're like, man, we can't do it, sorry, don't know what to tell you. Well, Top Gun out of New Haven, they've moved hundreds and hundreds of containers with these darn things. They've sold over 1,000 of these themselves. So these things are the best solution ever. So you got a lot of options with these. You can lend them, rent them, pay a guy to subcontract them, and get your shipping container down that driveway. You don't have to lose a sale. I don't think we've ever had a situation that we could not get a container in the spot. And it's just as easy as it gets. That's why they're called Easy Wheels. So go ahead, Jesse, you got a couple of them?
Yeah, so one of the biggest questions I receive on probably a day-to-day basis is how high does the shipping container come off the ground when you're using Easy Wheels? And so I can't talk about every different wheel and tire, but with our Easy Wheels and our tires, they are 12 inches from the ground to the bottom of your shipping container. So all in all, your container is then going to be 9 feet 6 inches on a standard shipping container.
If you wanted to put it in a garage door.
Yep. And then if you have a high cube, it's going to be 10 foot 6 inches.
Yeah, so as far as your ground clearance, you have a foot of ground clearance across the back, but also if you're moving this thing with a piece of equipment like a skid loader or a tractor, you can actually pick up the container at the end where their equipment is and get a lot of belly ground clearance. And a lot of people too, they use their own wheels and tires. You can go get a set of 44-inch mud truck tires and slap them on this one. Here's an 8-lug. And you put those on there, and that'll get you another 6 inches higher, to get you some ground clearance, and it'll help keep from sinking in the ground. Because sometimes, we've got these things everywhere, but a lot of people want some different terrain, soft terrain or muddy terrain, and they go very well with big tires. Any of them will work. So, yeah.
So another quick question while we're on that subject is how wide does the shipping container get when you have our Easy Wheels on it? Again, with our bundle option, using our wheels and tires, it's going to go out an additional 12 inches on each side. So you're going to have 10 foot wide on your container at that point.
Yeah, so if you want to get it in a garage door with our wheels and tires, you're going to need a slightly larger than 10-foot door to put it inside a building. So, but other than that, they do stick out. They're over legal road width, obviously, so they're, not for road. Is that it on the height and width?
Yes.
So whenever we talk about that road use, so another question we get almost on a daily basis, hey, can I haul these down the highway? So here's the story on that. Like, Jesse hears this all the time. We know of people that are hauling these things down the highway. It's not what they're designed to do. They are not. These are very heavy duty, but the shear force on an axle with no suspension it's 10 times what it would be at 10 mile an hour. So if you're running down the highway, you hit a 6-inch dip in the road at 55 mile an hour, you're putting thousands and thousands of pounds of added pressure on there. you can tear the corner off the bottom of your container. They are not made for highway use. They're too wide. They have no brake lights, no brakes. If you have a little pickup truck trying to haul a container down the road and you start to turn and you hit the brakes on that truck, it's going to jackknife you. A small container is 5,000 pounds or close to it, and a big 40-footer is 8,500 pounds. So, and that brings me to another thing. If you take a 2,500 pound on one end of your container and put it on the ball hitch of a half-ton or three-quarter-ton truck, it will push your frame down to the axle. Your easy wheel's on the very end of the container, and your truck is at the other end. So your tongue and your truck on your ball hitch is taking crazy amounts of weight. So if you were to take your 1-ton truck or even an F450 and set 5,000 pounds, which you would have on a 40-footer, you're putting crazy amounts of weight. Put 5,000 pounds on that ball, 2-inch ball or whatever you got on there, and then if you hit your brakes, the weight of that container dips forward. I've actually seen where people will hit their brakes and it'll pull the front wheels so high off the ground on the truck you can barely even steer. So it'll push, you know, it's just a bad idea. That's not what these are intended for. I know there's people out there that make these crazy hitches and everything. Don't do it. They're dangerous. We've seen so many of them broke. We've had so many calls from customers with problems. So it's not a good idea. I know, you know, I'm an old monster truck driver, and so I'll hook my half-ton truck up to anything and make it happen, but that's not a good idea on this. You're just going to tear up your equipment. It's a bad idea. So, okay, what do you got?
I get a lot of other questions about our ratchet straps. So, why do we need them? What are they for? Are they necessary? Why do I need them? So, you need to use the ratchet straps on your easy wheels strictly because if you're moving it and you hit that bump or your container tilts at any point during your move,
drags the ground.
Yeah, it can unlock your easy wheels. So what you're doing is you're basically tying your easy wheel to your shipping container. You don't need a whole lot of tension on them. They are just there so they don't unlock out.
Yeah, there is no real tension on your straps. We have some on this container we're sitting here too, but there's no real tension on them. The easy wheels, they just simply, you put them on sideways, flip them upright, and they're locked on. And if you don't have the strap on there, they can turn and come off if you don't have weight on them. So therefore, the ratchet strap is something that takes you less than 3 minutes to put on. And unless you're just rolling around inside your shop on a flat ground, throw the ratchet straps on there. I recommend them anytime. And we do have those in stock too, and we sell them dirt cheap. So, hitch. So we talked about the hitch a little bit. These guys wanting to haul these down the highway and stuff, bad idea. We do build a hitch for the easy wheels. The hitch was designed for military and commercial use. Boeing's got one, Hitachi Energy's got one. We've got all kinds of farmers and stuff got them. But the hitch we build is designed for someone moving a lot of containers and wanting to move them fast. So the hitch we have, it works like an old school tow truck sling. Doesn't look anything like it, but you pull up, hook up, drive off. So you can pull up with a 3-point on your tractor and you can move 100 containers a day like nothing, never break a sweat. And then it also works with fork pockets. So if you want to use your skid loader with forks, it works with that, it works with your forklift. And we do have one also that has a quick attach for your skid loader, telehandlers and everything like that. So, but there is a hitch option. It is not, it comes with a price because I mean, this is a significant piece of equipment. I mean, it's not made for just moving one container here and there. It's made for moving lots of containers. And whenever you see it, you know, it's worthwhile. So, what do you got?
So I get another question quite often, probably once a week, on if you need 2 sets of easy wheels to move your shipping container. The answer is no. You honestly probably only want to use 1 set because if you have 2 sets on, which is at the door end of your container and the back end of your container, you're only going to be able to move your shipping container forward and backwards. You're not going to be able to turn it whatsoever. So if you have one on just one end of your container, you'll be able to maneuver it a lot better.
Yeah, not everybody has the choice where they have a big piece of equipment to move their container around, and people do buy 2 sets, but whenever you put 2 sets on a container in line, that thing moves like it's on rails. It doesn't steer. Don't try to steer them. You don't want to try to drag them over. Now you can actually, if you did buy 2 sets, you can put them on the sides, and then you can actually put them on the door end or the back end, and you can make that container turn around in its own tracks according to wherever those wheels are. And then you can put them back on the sides and run that container wherever you want it in a straight line. We've got, we've got 10 sets of these on desert islands. These guys, they'll move them around. They will put 2 sets on there, and they'll drag them with chainsaw winches, Jeeps, winches, whatever you got. But it's not a quick process. You're not going to do this in 10 minutes. I mean, it's going to take you all day. But when that's what you got, that's what you got. It makes it happen. And what's really cool is you can put these on both ends, on the short ends, and you can move a container sideways. So if you get the container halfway close to where you think you want it, you can put them on the ends and push that container sideways. And they move really easy. You can push it over, bump up against it with a lawnmower or anything and move it. But like I say, always take your time, be safe, don't do anything stupid. So, okay?
I get another question. Why are they coated with anything? So they are coated, they are nickel chrome plated. So I'm gonna have Jason explain to you why we chose nickel chrome for our Easy Wheels.
So we used to use zinc. We started out with powder coat, and powder coat, first time you use it, they look like hell. They look pretty until they go,
chip.
But they chip really easy. These are implements and they get beat up. So then we moved to zinc, and zinc is what's on these lug nuts here. And zinc, over time, rusts, and especially in salty areas. So you'll see rust and stuff around your threads and all that, and these lug nuts will start to rust. Doesn't last as long. So what nickel chrome is, it's chrome, like your bumpers on a truck or something. It's chrome, but these are not polished, so they don't shine like chrome, but they're pretty. But if you want to think of what nickel chrome is, it's the same finish that's on your seatbelt latch in your car. It's that chrome finish on your seatbelt, and that stuff is tough. It lasts years. And so when we build stuff, we overbuild it. Everything we do, we build it to the T, and we want these to last, and we want them to look pretty, because our Easy Wheels sell more Easy Wheels, and if these things look good 5 years from now and they've moved 100 containers, they're going to sell themselves. But we want our stuff to last, and that's the way we do it. We use the best finish we could find, and nickel chrome is the one for us on this one. So, okay?
Do you have another one?
I have a couple of them. Let's see. I get equipment. What is the best equipment to use and move a shipping container whenever you're in the middle of nowhere? How am I going to move it? When you're using the Easy Wheels, well, skid loader, man, you could throw a set of Easy Wheels on a container in under 5 minutes, a skid loader with forks, and you could put a shipping container almost anywhere in the air conditioning of your skid loader. And it's awesome. You can't beat it. You can spend a lot of money on a lot of contraptions to move shipping containers around, but that skid loader will do a lot more than just move shipping containers. You can use it for all your other stuff. Now, not everybody's going to run out and buy a skid loader. You can rent a skid loader, $400 or less a day. So we get a lot of people use skid loaders. Telehandlers are awesome. High lifts work. Bulldozers work. Off-road forklifts are awesome. If you're indoor, yeah, Bobcats. Indoor, little forklift that'll pick up your container. Indoor, any forklift will work, as long as it'll pick up your container. But excavators work really well. Some people pick up the container from the ISO corners, and they'll pick it up and drag it around. We have some that were purchased through the Discovery Channel, and they are up in Alaska, and they move these shipping containers cross country with an excavator. And I haven't got to see the video yet, but it is sweet. I can't wait to see how that turns out. But basically my favorite go-to equipment is a skid loader, but just about anything. Tractors will work, but your 50-horse tractor is probably not going to do too good picking up a shipping container. You need something like my 100-horse tractor will move a 20-footer around no problem, but it won't move a 40-footer. I mean, it's struggling. It starts to get a little risky. So, if you're going to do a skid loader, I would say you need a 75-horse skid loader to move a 20-footer or larger. And then if you want a 40-footer to be moved, then you should go 90 horse or larger on your skid loader. It makes easy work out of it. So another thing too I got, So a lot of people buy these and rent them out to their customers. A lot of people lend them out to their customers. So if you get down to that goat path and they want this thing put next to their barn, and you say, hey buddy, this isn't what we talked about here, lend them the Easy Wheels. They can rent their own piece of equipment. They can move their own container. You don't lose the sale. A better option, which works really good for us around here, is there is lots and lots of these guys that have their own construction companies. They've got a skid loader with a skid loader trailer. Give them your Easy Wheels, sell them a set, whatever. Give them $500 a pop to move a container. I've got a guy, he moved 5 in one day, $500 a pop. He only moved them a few feet, lined them up for a guy, made $2,500 in 2 hours. And nobody at all is going to complain that you charge him $500. And the guy that you've got doing it on the side, he's killing it. If that takes him all day to move 2 containers, he made $1,000 minus his fuel, minus his time. The dude still made $650 if he was there all day. It's killer money. It's easy, and you don't lose a sale. We never lose a sale because we can't put a container somewhere.
All right.
I think I got one more here. Let's have.
Well, I'm going to ask a question.
Oh, okay.
first.
Go ahead. Yep. Yep.
All right. So a lot of people want to know what our Easy Wheels are made of. So they are robotic. No, I'm sorry. They are machine and laser cut from cold rolled American steel, and then they are robotically welded. Then we nickel chrome plate them. And while I'm talking about that, Jason, can you explain to them why we have 2 different options?
Yeah, that's a good question too. We get that a lot. So we got 6 and 8 lug. They are rated the same. It doesn't really matter. And if we sell them with our wheels and tires, they come with the same wheels and tires, except they'll be 6 or 8 lug. The reason for the 2 different options are we like to save you money. I could sell you tires and all that stuff, try to make a few bucks, but we really don't mark our tires up hardly at all. We just want to help you out, so that's why we have them. Costs a lot to ship tires. But if you have your own wheels and tires, this is an 8 on 6.5. All the old Ford, Chevy, and Dodge use this lug pattern. Use your own tires, wheels if you can. Your trailer, this is a trailer hub, so the 8 lug trailer hubs, this will interchange. The 6 lug, they'll interchange, so you can use your own wheels and tires. And if you end up buying our wheels and tires and you've got a trailer sitting there that is a 6 lug trailer, by all means, buy 6 lug Easy Wheels, and then you can use those brand new 10-ply E-rated tires on your trailer. We're trying to save money, but the convenience of having everything in stock, ready to go, that's why we do it this way. We sell the 8 lug probably 5 to 1 to the 6 lug, but there's really no difference. Save $50, man. It costs $50 more to put these hubs on there. So, but that's the only difference. Okay?
Can we push a shipping container up a hill with Easy Wheels?
Absolutely. So the best way to move shipping containers uphill, I love skid loaders, but anything will work. But whenever you're using a skid loader or a piece of equipment like a loading machine, it's easier to push them up a hill than pull them. You got to have a pretty big piece of equipment to pull them uphill. Or if you're familiar with a skid loader or even a high lifter, they don't like to back up hills, especially with weight on them. They want to tip forward. The engine's generally in the back, and they want to tip forward, and they don't like to pull. But to move them up a hill, what we recommend is pick it up with your forks. I like to put a 6x6 between the forks and the container, so if that thing slides forward, it protects your door hardware and everything. And then I'll run a chain from the bottom ISO back to my forks, back to the other ISO of the container, and that makes a V pattern with your chain. And then it allows you to have a safety chain. If your container gets away from you, just set it down. It's gonna stop. But it also keeps it from slipping off the back of your forks. If you stop quick or tip your forks down, it keeps it from just sliding off there. But to move them uphill, push them, and they work great. I always recommend too, have a spotter standing 10, 15 foot off to the side of you that can see the edge of your Easy Wheels and steer. But I mean, these things steer with a skid loader like they're on a gooseneck hitch. They make corners. You can put them anywhere. You can pull a 90-degree corner right next to a barn as long as you got a good spotter with you. Sometimes you may have your wife do it, but if it's going to cause a divorce, just get a buddy to do it. That usually is your better option, because I've moved a lot of fifth-wheel campers. My wife did great, by the way, but I'm just telling you. So, okay?
Why should we trust you over the competitors that we have?
That's another good question. We do get that. So when we started these out, we were it. We were the only one. Well, since then, we've probably had 100 copies, different knockoffs and everything else. There is some awesome dudes out of the United States. There's one in Pennsylvania, one in Texas. They build American-made products. They're good. They're not the same as ours. They did not copy us. So, man, shout out to them. They keep killing it, guys. But ours are the fastest to install. They are the original. They are American made with American cold rolled steel. I'll show you the inserts. If you want it, I'll send us a message. We'll get you all the inserts. We do have to import our hubs because you just can't get these here. We've tried and tried and tried. And if we do, come to find out they're usually not from here even after we thought they were. So, but everything else is made here. Even the steel. It costs more money to buy that steel, but I've got a pile of our competitors' knockoffs that have copied us over the years. They're just folded up. We've got a pile of them. And we usually hook up our customers whenever we see their junk that they bought. But whenever you buy, let's put it this way. I'm gonna go start a logging business and I gotta get me a good chainsaw. I'm gonna run down to Walmart and grab a chainsaw. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go get a good commercial steel or Husqvarna or something really good. When you make a living with your tools, this is the tool to buy. And these things don't let you down. Man, how many thousands of these are on planet Earth? I mean, it's thousands and thousands and thousands of these. And we never have a problem. We get phone calls on a regular basis thanking us for saving them. We'll overnight these people and everything like, man, you guys are a lifesaver. And we also get phone calls, people, yeah, I bought this junk and now I'm buying yours. I'm like, well, you should have bought ours to start with. But, who am I to judge? But, that's their quality. They're the original. There's nothing even comes close, and it never will because we're always evolving and always getting better. So, okay? And ours are engineered, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
We are the only one with engineering, and we don't show our engineering because our copycats tend to like to steal our engineering. So we don't show our engineering, but we have our engineering. So if we're dealing with the military and stuff, but that's another thing too. Why should you buy? We sell to every branch of the military. We sell to NASA, Neuralink, Disney's got these. What is that? Man, the stage at the big game a couple of years came in on these. So these are everywhere. We have these at Blue Origin on a launch pad moving shipping containers around. These things are everywhere, and we've got probably 300 awesome names like that, but like NASA, we talk back and forth. So I don't know how many of these, but we sold these to NASA, a few of them. So Hitachi Energy, man, they got our hitch and everything. They got, but I mean, big companies, you call us, our customer service, we'll answer your question or we'll get you the answer you need to know, and we won't sell you something you don't need. So that's why you buy from us, and we're American.
And I believe that we are the only ones that are registered with SAM.gov and Cage Code certified.
Yes, we stand behind our products and we have our Cage Code and we are good to go. Okay?
I really just want you to touch base again why it is so important that these are for off-road use only.
Okay, so we're gonna really hit that hard, and I got a couple more too. So this one here, the reason these are for off-road, they're not street legal. You cannot just bolt some wheels to a container and be street legal. You have to have a frame. You have, the containers are really only strong in the four corners. The underneath is not made to put axles under. You can build a frame. You can put trailer brakes on them. You can put lights on them. You can do all that crazy stuff, or you can buy a trailer. So they are not street legal. They're not ever going to be street legal. So there's just no way to do it. And then another thing too, what we're talking about too, people will talk, well, I can throw some casters on front and drag that around my truck. Once again, casters are cool on flat ground and everything else, but the casters, if you imagine you take a shopping cart and you're pushing on a really, really, steep hill, pretty good grade, that shopping cart wants to go downhill. Throw 2,500 pounds in the front of that shopping cart and try to push that thing up that hill at an angle. What'll happen is those casters will, no matter what, they're gonna try to go downhill. They're gonna fight and go downhill. You can try to pull it uphill and the casters, you think they would follow, they won't. They will bend and fold over. And whenever you mount casters to the corner of your shipping container on off-road use, at some point in time, that one caster is going to take more than half the weight of that container on one caster, because containers don't flex. There's no articulation. So if you want a front axle, it's got to move. That's whenever you start talking that crazy stuff, you need a trailer. That's your best bet. So, okay. I get one all the time. Weight. We know the weight rating. They're 8,800 pounds, 17,600. If you have a whole container, is weighted evenly, 17,600 pounds. So it's 8,800 per end of the container. Set of two will hold 8,800 pounds. So I get often, what about a reefer container? All the time. Best thing ever, man. Reefer containers are kick ass with these things. Then we get people crossing over and, okay, well, I got a 30,000 pound container. I tell you no, they're really rated at what they're rated at. We do have people, military pushing far more than what they're rated at, but I suggest they don't. And these things are triple times rated. They are legitimately strong. But whenever you start talking about putting that crazy amount of weight on there, you need a better option. You know, and we have made some extreme heavy duty ones and everything in the past, but right now this is the heaviest thing there is. Keep it in that weight rating. And something too, if you got a container that's a little heavy and the weight's towards the piece where your equipment is, you know, and you keep the weight off the wheels, you can get away with a little bit more or less, depending as long as it's that way. But it's a bad idea. And another thing too, whenever you're moving a container that's over 17,600 pounds, your 100-horse skid loader is no longer relevant. It really is not going to move a container like that. You know, you're going to have problems. So it becomes, you've got yourself a real job then. Really, empty containers they're a piece of cake. I mean, you can move those things around like butter, but you can't, you know, when you get a lot of weight on it, you mess with a whole different beast.
Oh, yeah.
Moving a heavy container around a flat lot, piece of cake, but a heavy container up a hill, and man, unload it. So, okay, what else you got?
I think that's all I have.
That's really all I've got, you know, but we appreciate everybody checking this out. You got any questions, send us a message. You know,
Yeah.
we like text, emails, but don't be afraid to get a hold of us. Customer service, that's number one for us. But that's all I got.
All right, like you said, if you have any questions, give us a call, shoot us an email, drop a comment below, send us a text. We're here to answer your questions, and we will see you next time.
Move it, lift it, build it, containernet.com.